This isn't the end. Another dream is waiting to begin.
Hey guys, this is Dare to Defy Nyx Stage II. I really struggled on this stage because this stage is actually probably the easiest stage in the whole Dare to Defy series, and I wanted to use as budget a team as possible to tackle through this stage. Here I have Rydia and Edge, which is a no BT, no force echoes, and Rydia is the only one with force. And even then I'm not sure whether this is a waste of Rydia, because the two bosses on this stage don't really do anything. All of their regular abilities are only brave attacks, they don't actually do HP damage as long as you keep them broken, and that's fairly easy to do. There is only one mechanic in this stage that you need to be aware of, and that's when the bosses are in force time, the Behemoth will instant kill you if it ever gets a turn, and the Behemoth actually warps its turn to the front once the bosses hit 100% force hit. That being said, this only happens when they hit 100%, so if you just kill them before they enter force time, then there is literally no noteworthy mechanics on this stage at all. Well, I suppose this is pretty budget as it is as far as a team goes for Dare to Defy, so I'll just probably be locking both Rydia and Edge on this stage. I was also pretty sloppy on this run. For one thing, the call abilities aren't really optimized. This is, I think, my second or third attempt on this stage just to try to optimize the run a little bit, and even then I realized that don't really need the call abilities, and you can probably set like damaging calls to maximize force time. On top of this, and this becomes apparent in the second force time, the Behemoth actually has more HP than Exdeath, and majority of the attacks that I do are AoE, so eventually there will be a mismatch of boss HP percentages. Essentially what you want to try to do is, when EX is not up, use Flare with Rydia and use Smoke with Edge on the Behemoth. Those attacks are predominantly single target and helps to even out the HP on the bosses, so that when you hit EX or LD or FR, then the HP should more or less even out till the end of the fight. Because Rydia and Edge are an off-turn strategy, you really want both bosses to die together, because if only one boss remains, that sort of neuters half the counter attacks that you potentially can do. Anyway, those are really minor nitpicky stuff. Essentially, what you want to try is to hit force time before the bosses hit 100%, and it comes pretty close, not gonna lie, but you can actually hit force time before they do. One thing to maximize the off-turn strategy, and I'll put this in the video description also, is you want to equip crystal passives that further reduce Rydia and Edge's speed. There is one crystal ability that reduces your character's speed and another that reduces their turn rate. You want to equip both of them and remove every single speed passive on Rydia and Edge to really make them as slow as possible. This ensures that the bosses take many consecutive turns in a row and trigger Edge's counter attacks many times, thus at least maximizing the damage that you do in Rydia's force time. If you have at least one crystal room mastered, and by this point I think majority of people should have, we are 1 month into end of service, and it only takes 2 weekly crystal mission quests to max out a room. So if you have maxed out at least one room, then you get access to the crystal ultimate attack ability, and I did use that in this run when I am at 99%. That's just one free nuke, and you might as well use that.
甘く見んなよ。行くぜ。はっしまいだ。無様なものよ。やっちまえ。やっちまえ。無様なものよ。甘く見んなよ。行くぜ。はっしまいだ。やっちまえ。
一緒に戦ってありがとう。
やっちまえ。甘く見んなよ。行くぜ。はっしまいだ。無様なものよ。やっちまえ。やっちまえ。
At one turn of force remaining, pop summon. On hindsight, I think Brothers is probably the wrong choice because it delays the enemies by one turn. Probably a better choice would be either Ifrit or Bahamut. But I suppose that's also pretty minor by itself. Now the goal here is that you must hit 100% force gauge and enter force time before you exit summon mode. If you don't, the bosses will hit 100% and that is game over. That was actually the reason why I failed my first attempt. I think this was my second. So here it's pretty close. I'm at 96.1%. Don't risk it. I just went the Selh'teus LD call. I was actually trying to save that as a nuke, but better to enter force time than to risk dying from the enemy's force attack. So Selh'teus LD call first and then additional ability. This allows you to hit 100% and enter force gauge just as you exit summon mode. You should try to use AA as the final move in summon. That does matter because if you do an attack and pass Rydia's turn, you will charge the enemy's force gauge as you exit summon mode and get a game over. That's pretty much it. The second force time is much quicker because you start at 500% bonus, so it takes much shorter time to ramp up to 999%, and the bosses are at much lower HP, so you don't really need the full second force time. But this is essentially a repeat of what you've been doing, just evade all the attacks, try to even out damage. You can see this is where I realized the HP difference because the Behemoth had like 8-9% more HP than Exdeath. So eventually I switched to single target attacks, trying to damage the behemoth as much as possible. What I would recommend is to do this earlier and do this on the turns when EX is not ready. That's probably a more optimal run than what you have here. But still works anyway. That's it for the commentary. As always, I hope the video has been helpful, and if you enjoy the content, please leave a like, comment and subscribe. Till then, I will catch you guys in the next Dare to Defy stage, which should be out in roughly 3 days from this. See ya!
甘く見んなよ。行くぜ。はっ、しまいだ。
私の魔法で。
やっちまえ。無様なものよ。やっちまえ。甘く見んなよ。行くぜ。はっ、しまいだ。やっちまえ。
私の魔法で。
やっちまえ。あらよっと。くらいな。甘く見んなよ。行くぜ。はっ、しまいだ。やっちまえ。無様なものよ。やっちまえ。甘く見んなよ。行くぜ。はっ、しまいだ。惚れ直したか。
May the light forever shine upon us.